2016 F1 world champion Nico Rosberg says that new Red Bull Racing boss Laurent Mekies must quickly establish himself to stem the flow of people moving to rival squads. Mekies was dropped into the CEO and team boss role ahead of Belgium after stalwart Christian Horner was removed from his operational duties. But while Max Verstappen won the sprint, he was a distant fourth in the race, with work needed to close the gap to McLaren into 2026. Rosberg, though, says Mekies' initial task is to retain key people and to rebuild, either with new recruits or promoting from within. That's going to be the key to then preserving their role of being one of the fastest teams at the moment in F1, Rosberg said. Max Verstappen has sought to calm the turbulent waters at Red Bull, stating that Christian Horner's shock departure doesn't affect his future and that the team just needs a quick car for 2026. The reigning world champion was understood to be considering a swift Mercedes switch based on rumored exit clauses in his deal through to 2028, but arrived in Spa refocused on Red Bull. The Dutchman said he was excited to work in a different direction with the team, and that the only thing that mattered to him was the car's pace across the remaining races and into 2026. In general, I am happy with where I am at, and the target was that when I signed my deal, I would drive here until the end of my career, Verstappen said. George Russell says his future is unlikely to be sorted before the sport's summer break in light of Max Verstappen's Red Bull refocus, with the Brit admitting there's no contract on the table yet. Russell was chilled going into the final year of his Mercedes deal, with just the time needed to sit down and the outfit preaching stability in its lineup.
We're focused on getting Mercedes back on top and trying to win races and win championships. And to be honest, in this sport, the performance speaks. So from my side, there's no pressure. I've got no doubts about myself, and everything falls into place when the timing is right. And as I said, we've got bigger fish to fry right now, which is getting us back on top.
But while team principal Toto Wolff stated in Austria that the Max Verstappen talks were being held behind closed doors, he's since stated retaining the current lineup is the absolute priority for him. Russell, in response, said he remains in no rush and that he will wait for the team's decision on his future, from which negotiations can take place. Lewis Hamilton says he refuses to become yet another world champion who fails to deliver titles to Ferrari, with the Brit stating that there's huge potential within the team and it's his sole goal to unlock it. The seven-time world champion joined the Scuderia this year on a $60 million annual salary, but a China sprint win has been the sole highlight. A new rear suspension package, however, brought hope at the Belgium Grand Prix, with more potential for different setups. Hamilton, though, sees the opportunity for real, sustained success, with the Brit on a crusade at Maranello to motivate and energize the workforce to fire together on all cylinders. If you look at the team over the last 20 years, they've had amazing drivers. Kimi, Fernando, Sebastian, all world champions, he said. However, they didn't win a world championship, and I refuse for that to be the case with me. McLaren IndyCar driver Pato O'Ward has given F1 fans the strongest hint that Sergio Perez will return to the grid next year with new squad Cadillac, with the Mexican stating he's seen his countryman in training. Perez left Red Bull at the end of 2024, following a difficult final season at Milton Keynes, with the squad choosing to settle his contract rather than continue on for another 2 campaigns into 2026. But Checo looks set to make his comeback next season, with rumors swirling he's since been signed for American startup Cadillac, alongside fellow veteran Valtteri Bottas. And O'Ward is the latest to open up on his countryman's plans, with the Mexican stating there's more to his training than just working out for fun. He wouldn't be training if he wasn't coming back, he said. Alex Albon says he thinks 2026 won't be his Williams team's golden year, with the squad still needing time to build and put the right people in place, though he is expecting a step forward. Williams has already switched all of its resources over to 2026, with the former powerhouse keen to capitalize on the seismic regulation changes and its customer Mercedes power unit. But Albon told F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid that Williams won't immediately be challenging for titles from 2026.
I don't think it will be our golden year. I think it will be a better year. I'm hoping it's a better year than this year. This year's already been a great year, but I would say our true years are still in front of us. The team is still fairly young and we're still employing.
Former F1 driver Ricardo Petray says that an underperforming Franco Colapinto is not safe from his Alpine boss, Flavio Briatore, who is like a bomb that can explode at any second. Colapinto replaced Jack Doohan at Alpine after 5 races, originally on a 5-race rotation that Briatore later denied existed. But his drive looks to be increasingly at risk, with 0 points scored and big qualifying crashes at Imola and Silverstone. Patrese, who raced for Briatore's Benetton team in 1993, says Colapinto's lack of results will make him vulnerable to his former boss, who he described as a newly discovered Second World War bomb. With Colapinto not performing and making accidents, he can have a problem with Briatore, who won't help with the driver's morale, he said. FIA presidential candidate Tim Mayer has launched the first part of what he's termed his Impact Manifesto, with a promise to restore democracy at the governing body as part of a compelling alternative to the current leadership. Mayer will run against current president Mohammed bin Sulayem, who fired him as a steward last year, with the American's blueprint stating he's about fairness, transparency, service, and accountability, though his initial presentation was without elements like his list of vice presidents. Mayer's opening presentation, ahead of the British Grand Prix, focused on how he can be different to bin Sulayem.
We've seen it time and time again. He's hired senior leadership. He's said, okay, I'm gonna let you do your job, and then he's fired them. So, that's part of it. The other thing is that really the job of the FIA is to provide leadership in the regulations, leadership with the relationship with the promoters, and that's not happening now either. We've got major world championships where he's fighting with, or certainly not working with, the stars of our sport, who are the drivers, who are the people who are putting this together and investing in this sport. So I think those are multiple areas. We could go on and on about where I think the leadership failures are.
F1 the movie's world domination has continued, with over $509 million now taken at the box office, making it an Apple Studios smash hit and one of the biggest films of 2025. The Jerry Bruckheimer-produced Hollywood film, which hit theaters last month, has since netted $165 million in the USA and $344 million on the international stage from a $200 million budget. The movie had no shortage of A-list star power across its New York and London premieres, with Tom Cruise attending the UK debut's red carpet, his first with Pitt in 24 years. The movie, directed by Joseph Kosinski and filmed across 18 months at Grands Prix all over the world with the help of the sport, sees Pitt playing Sonny Hayes, a washed-up former racer who comes out of retirement to mentor a young gun.
How do you think I'd feel if you die on the track?
Down the inside, contact!
I mean, we had to work inside the Formula One schedule on race weekend, so that was a very, very tight, short time frame that we're not used to having. So I had to change the whole way I make films. But the benefit is, when you see this film, you're gonna feel like you're at the Formula One race because we were there.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.